Just a second. Yeah, it's recording now. Okay, so going through the details of coming back to school, the teachers will all be returning the 22nd, this coming up Monday. Okay, the students, if you choose to come back, are going to come back on March 8th. Okay, I am sharing the screen. Okay, you can all see this. Okay, the students, if you choose to return, will come back March 8th. There's a week in between there, March 1 through 5. Okay, so I'm going back the 22nd. There's a week, March 1st, and then the next week is March 8th. Okay, so on March 1st, in the middle, we're going to start back with our 7:15 classes. Now, those of you who are freshmen who haven't been to Germantown before, Germantown School is supposed to start at 7:15 in the morning, and then we get out at 2:15 in the afternoon. That's our normal hours. They do it that early so that we can have the buses. Okay, the buses can go through. Let me get his time down on there. 2:23. Um, the buses so that we can move the buses from one school to the next and everybody can share the buses. All right, so our school is technically supposed to start at 7:15 in the mornings and it gets out at 2:15. So starting March 1st, even though y'all will still, no matter who, even if you want to come back, it's not time to come back. On March 1st, everybody will still be at home, but you're going to start school at 7:15. We're still working on the details of the class schedule, like what time is first, what time is second, the specifics on the bell schedule, because we're trying to figure out how we're going to work the lunches, whether we're going to work the like office hours. If we're going to use some of that, we're going to cut down office hours so we can extend time between classes so we can sanitize the desks. And we're still working on some of that. All right. So we still have a lot to figure out, but I know without a doubt, we are going to start at 7:15 starting March 1st. All right, we'll get you more details in soon. Now, what we want is the students and parents can choose. Do you see my paper here? Parents and students can choose to stay safe at home. The decision must be made soon. We're going to give you the cutoff date. We don't have it yet. The decision must be made soon and it has to hold throughout the whole year. We don't want too many flip-flopping on their decision once they've made it, because once we start going back to school, we're going to have to start having COVID tracing, the contact tracing where this person got sick and they were in contact with all these other people, and then we have to watch them and they were in contact with all these other people. That's called contact tracing. Because of contact tracing, once you make your decision, you need to keep it so that Big Brother knows where you are. Okay, so we can't have people flip-flopping. Now, once you make your decision, now if there is some special circumstances, they'll be addressed on a case-by-case basis. And we're going to have a lot more details coming soon. What day do you have? What's your time limit to make your decision? How do you let them know which one you've chosen? All that stuff is coming soon. We're going to have a virtual forum with question and answer sessions for parents on the 25th. That's this coming up Thursday. Today is Thursday, a week from today at 6 p.m. So what you'll do, I don't have the link for you yet. Again, all this stuff is coming up soon. What you'll do is you'll have your parents sit down with you like it's Teams. Okay, your parents will sit down to Teams with you and they'll start a meeting and it'll be just like a classroom. Okay, if they have any questions about all this stuff coming back to school. All right, now here's where it gets weird for everybody, regardless of whether you're coming to school or you're staying at home. On Monday and Tuesday, February 23rd, these are going to be asynchronous learning days for students. Now, let me tell you what that's going to look like. This is coming up Monday, Tuesday, because those are the days the teachers go back to class. You guys will have asynchronous learning days. And what that means is everybody listening? Everybody listening? Shambria, where'd you go, baby? I need everybody listening. Okay, good, good. Cameron, are you there? I need you listening. Andrew, are you there? Okay, cool. Okay, I need to make sure everybody is listening. Okay, what an asynchronous day is, it means you work on your own time at your own pace. So there will be in your teacher's chat line or in your teacher's Teams post a Google form with a question for you to answer. When you go onto that Google form and answer their question, that's them taking roll. So do not skip that question. There's a Google question, or there will be a Google question in your teacher's post line in Teams. You have to answer that question. That will be them checking roll. And then they'll have an assignment for you wherever they normally put your assignments. If they put your assignments in Teams, or if they put the assignments in Schoology like I do, wherever your teacher normally puts the assignments, there will be an assignment for you to do. But what's cool about the asynchronous days, are you listening? You listening? What's cool about the asynchronous days is you can do this at your own pace, in your own time. Charles, you there, baby? Charles, you there? Because what you can do is you can sleep in till 9:30, 10 o'clock, get your breakfast, go answer all those Google questions, and then go do your assignments. You are at your own pace on asynchronous days. They're going to be really cool if we can start having more of them. Okay, but I know that Monday and Tuesday, the 22nd and 23rd, those are asynchronous days because the teachers will be at school trying to figure stuff out. We'll have to figure out how to work our temperature checks and how to get our classroom set up and set up barriers if we have them to put the between the desks. We're going to be doing that, and you guys will be doing asynchronous days on the 22nd and 23rd of February. The next week, March 1 through 5, that's a plain ordinary week where I'm sitting here talking to you, you're talking to me, but I'll be in my classroom. But that's the only thing that'll be changed, except that in that week, that's when we start the beginning at 7:15. That March 1 through 5, that's where we start beginning at 7:15 in the morning. Okay. Of course, we get out at 2:15 in the afternoon. That's always nice. Now, the next week, Monday and Tuesday, the 8th and 9th, those will be 2 more asynchronous learning days because if the students are deciding to go to school, that will be their first days. And they will need to get used to the temperature checks and the way that we go get our lunches and the way that you have to answer all these COVID questions. All right. So there's going to be 2 sets of asynchronous days. First, when I go back, the 22nd and 23rd of February, and then when whoever of y'all goes back, the 8th and 9th. So whether you're in the classroom or you're at home, it'll be an asynchronous day. You just, whatever your work you got done, you just sit down and you do your work whenever you do your work. Okay, now let me show you, this is what it kind of is going to look like. And so again, what I'm saying is I would love to meet you guys. I would love to see your faces in my classroom, but I want you safe. I want you safe. All right, so what's going to go on here is these kids are going to be on their teams. I'll be up in front, behind a big barricade. I can't even go around the room to visit with y'all. Okay, you're going to be stuck in your desk on Teams just like you are now, except instead of being in your warm, comfy couch, you'll be in a cold classroom. It's exactly like you have right now, except you'll be stuck in a classroom. And you'll have to wear your mask and stuff. I'm going over that in just a second. All right, this other part of this paper that I'm going to send this paper out today in Remind. Okay, so you'll get a copy of it. All right, this is what it's going to look like, a day in the life of a high school student with COVID restrictions. The kid's not sick. The kid's not sick. Don't you come to school if you're sick. All right, but this is what the day in the life is going to look like. Okay, this is what you have now. So much more freedom, so much less restrictions. Okay, this is what it's going to have to look like if you come to school. And I'll let you read this when I hand this paper in Remind. Okay. All right. Now let's go over some of the specifics. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay. All right. First thing first. All right. The mask must be worn at all time, covering both nose and mouth. You see people in the stores wearing their mask like this? That does not work. That does no good at all. You are not being safe. Then your mask must cover nose and mouth at all times, the whole day long, no breaks except to shove food in your mouth. And that's it. Your mask must be worn all the time. You can wear face shields, that's fine, but you must have the mask under them. The face shield is not going to help you that much because the air and the germs and the viruses can come right up under that face shield. All the germs are coming right up under that face shield. So you still must have the mask on all the time, full time, all day long from 7:15 to 2:15, without a doubt. All right. The next part is that social distancing must be maintained. Some of you guys are really excited. I'm going to go see my friend again. I'm so excited. I'm so excited I get to see my friend. And you still have to stay 6 feet away from them. Social distancing must be maintained. When we're going through the hallways, when we're going through the lunch line, all of these things, you have to stay 6 feet away from each other at all times, which means even if you're talking to each other, I mean, you can speak in a normal voice, but you can't share secrets because everybody will hear them. Everybody's going to hear you. Okay, so you have to be 6 feet away from each other. The next thing is, this is crazy. All the water fountains are disabled or off limits. All right, because the water fountains, I mean, that's a lot of germs when you're at the water fountain after somebody else. It makes perfect sense that they are off limits. However, can you imagine spending the whole day long with nothing to drink? That's crazy. And that's how it has to be. I mean, you can bring a bottle of water. Some of us are going to be bringing gallons of water, but all of the water fountains are off limits. Without a doubt, without questions, you cannot get your water no matter how bad thirsty you are. All right, so that's one of the big things. The water fountains are going to be off limits. The lunches and breakfasts are going to be grab and go. So it's not like you'll get a hot meal or anything. It's a bag lunch. Okay, you might, depending on how many people we have, you might be able to stay in the cafeteria, but you won't get to sit next to your friend. You're going to have to be 6 feet away from your friend. Most of the time, you're going to go back up to the classroom. All right. Um, the next thing is you're still going to be on Teams every day in class. This will not change. Even if you are in the same room with me, you will still be on the computer because I'm going to be stuck behind a partition. I can't even come around to see you. So you will still be on Teams just like this, even if you're in my classroom with me. Okay, and that also brings us to the next point is you have to have your device with you every day fully charged. Now, a lot of you, some people may say, well, I'm going to forget my computer and then I don't have to work. No, that just means I'm going to give you one of our school computers that half of them are missing 5 or 6 keys and you still have to try to use it. So you want to bring your device. Okay. And it has to be fully charged. Now we know that they're not going to probably keep the charge the whole day. You may need a charging station. We'll have charging stations in the classrooms. But here's the thing, if we have 2 or 3 people charging their computer at one time, then they will not be 6 feet away from each other. If we have 2 or 3 people trying to charge their computers at once, they're going to be too close. They won't have their social distance. All right, so we're going to not even be able to let you guys charge your computers at the same time. And this last one here, all assignments are going to be still completed by a computer. No papers will be changing hands. Some people, and I know one of my girls last period, they really hate all this digital paper and downloading this assignment and uploading it here and PDFs versus words, and it's killing them. Just give me a dang piece of paper to write on. No, no more papers changing hands. A lot of germs. I'm not handing you a paper. You're not handing me a paper. It's still all going digital. Okay. So what I'm saying is, yes, I would love to meet you guys. Yes, I would love to have you in my classroom, but I think it's not worth it. I think you're safer at home for the amount of difficulty you're going to have to go through. And nothing's really going to change. You're still going to be on the box on my TV, and I'll still be on the box on your TV. Nothing's going to change. Kendrick, where'd you go, buddy? There you are. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so do you have any questions for me about this stuff? Any questions? Okay, now I did record this. I'm about to stop the recording and then I'm going to need something in the chat line, but I'm going to stop this recording and then I'll be able to attach it to the remind that I send out that has the paper I'm talking about. So stop recording.